Hello everyone, welcome to this new Touchdesigner tutorial. This tutorial we're gonna look to the next chapter of the Generative Design book, that is the chapter P231, drawing with animated brushes, and we're gonna end with a network like this. This network allows us to have interactions, and these interactions are made with the mouse, with the keyboard. We can change the color of the shape of the line, and also with the mouse we can make this kind of figures. I'm gonna also um, delete this, and you can draw like these figures, generative figures, but also you can move your mouse and leave those trails to have this generative sketch. So yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna put this aside. This is the uh, page for the processing code. In this tutorial, we're not going to look at the processing code, because I think that I need to explain what we are doing in Touchdesigner. So this is something I think easy to see on the visual part. So we're gonna just look at that, and yeah, but I leave you the page for the code if you want to look at this processing code. So one last thing is, besides it looks so simple, it took me to do a lot of iterations of redoing the network, so um, I can finally have this like more optimized. So we're gonna just have these operators, but also I made the Spanish tutorial first, and also in that I doing that at the end I realized that I could delete another operator and only have this one transform. In the Spanish tutorial there are two transforms, but well, that that happens when you iterate through something a couple of times. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside, gonna close this, and we're gonna start from scratch. So you will have this empty network. If you open a new network, you delete everything, and we can start by doing first the sub part. So we need to put a line sub. This line sub needs to be connected to a transform, and after this we're gonna connect a geometry. We also gonna place a camera, and we're gonna place a line material. This line material, we drag it to the geometry parameter material, and then we start with the render network. We put a render top. Oops, render, sorry. Then we add a feedback. We also connect an over. We connect the feedback to the second input of the over. We put a transform, and finally a null that we need to rename to BG. And we can go out to the project and select only the project. We'll go to the look page, and on the background top, point/BG. The layout will be 1280 by 720. So we can make this with the free license Touchdesigner. And yeah, we're gonna go in. So the Spanish tutorial I started a little bit different, but I think that we need to put first all the things that will have the interaction, and after that make the interactions and only export all the parameters we need. So will what I'm doing different now here is first we need to put the colors. These colors are specified on the generative design sketch. So to make the colors, we need to place a constant. We will have 4 colors with the keys 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the keyboard, and one extra random color that will be the space of the keyboard. Okay, so I'm gonna put first the first color. So the colors in the generative design sketch are done in 255 0 to 255 space color. So I took those values, and yeah, the first color will be 181 on the R color, 157, sorry, 157 and 0. Okay, and finally we need to put a 0 on the G color. Okay, and on the alpha we need to put a 100, and we need to kit the pre-multiply RGB by alpha because we need to multiply here on the line. So I'm gonna put enough this, toggle off, and the RGB needs to 0 to 255. Finally, we go to the common page and we only need 1 pixel, and the pixel format to 32 RGB float, and that's it for the first color. So we can copy and paste 3 times this constant. And for the second color, we're gonna put a 0 in R, 130 in B, and 164 in G. For the third color, we need to put 87, 35, and 129. And for the last color, we need to put 197, 0, and 123. Okay, and for the random color, we need to put a noise texture. This noise will be also 1 by 1 of resolution. Pixel format will be 32-bit float. The input smoothness and viewer smoothness nearest pixel. On the noise page, we change to random GPU. We toggle off monochrome, and we need to change the output. The alpha will not be 1. We also need random alpha, so the alpha will be also made by noise. And that's it for this color. We also use a math because this random color or this random noise goes from 0 to 1, but we need not to be 0, since we need it to be in 1 to 100 space color, and 10 to 255 space color, and the random value that will be here 0 to 1, we need to convert it to 80 on the range page, from 80 to 150. Okay. Also, our pixel format will be here, 32-bit float. And that's it for the colors. We need to connect it to a switch because we're gonna switch between these colors. We select all of them, and then if we drag only one output, all the other ones are connected. We connect a null. And to drag this color, to see this color in the material, we need to change this color to chop, to chop. And finally a null. This null, we can rename it null color, and we can export this to the color of the line. Okay, so the line will need to be a width near and a width far of 1. Then we go to the line page, and sorry, on the line page we're gonna drag linear color on R, G on linear color G, and B. And this line near alpha here is normalized, so we need to divide this by 255, and then that is normalized value of this alpha. We toggle off specifying line far color, we don't need it. And finally we toggle on the blending transparency. Okay, so that's it for the material and the colors. On the feedback, we will drag the over to the feedback, so we can see that is making the feedback. And we also need to go to the camera. In the camera, we change in the view page the projection to orthographic, the ortho origin to bottom left, and the ortho width will be the same as our width of our canvas, that is parent dot width. And we're good now here on the geometry and the materials. Okay, so I'm gonna split the panes, and on the right pane we're gonna select panel because we need to interact from here. And also in this transform we're gonna make a background color white, so we change the background color and also put 1 on the alpha and toggle on the comp over background color, and now we have our white background. Okay, so well, I think that's everything. So to the network, that we will have the interactions, but now we have to make the interactions. So one of the first interaction is that the line needs to move with the position of the mouse. How we can do that? Well, because we are on the panel, we can access to this data with a panel chop. So this panel chop, we're gonna select inside U, inside B, and also the line only draws when we click the canvas or the panel. So we need to also put the select, and we can rename here to TX, TY, and click. So you can see that now here are our values, but this space is from 0 to 1280 and 0 to 720 in TY. So here the values are normalized. So for that we will connect a mat. This mat will have the range from 0 to 1 and will be from 0 to parent dot width. But here on the common page, we on the scope only select that this operation affects to tx. We put another math, and this math will have the same here, but from 0 to 1 will be to 0 to parent dot height. And on the common page, this only affects to ty. And the click, we don't need to make anything, so we leave it like that. We connect this to a merge, and this merge will go to a null. This null, we rename it to null params. We can make it, we can right click and select view to drag it to the parameters. And before continuing to the exportation of the parameters, also I like to do here on the maths, we can select both of them. We go to the OP page, and here on the integer we select round, so we have integer numbers. Okay, so we can start moving our line using this transform, but before doing that we need to change here the order of the transform. So first we need to rotate it, because this line will rotate when we click the canvas, the panel, and after that we need to translate it. So the operation is rotate, translate, and scale. First we rotate, then we translate. Okay. After changing this, we can export this tx to translate x, and this ty to translate y. And you can see that now a tiny line is moving. That is because the line length for now is 1, but we can start changing that now. So to do that, we need to select this click. This click will also allow us to visualize the line. Well, we can export that first. So here, if I move the line, you can see that it starts doing the feedback, but we need only to draw the line when we make the click. So to do that, we go to the geometry parameters, and on the render page, we drag the click to the render on off. So this will only render when we click, and you can see that now the line is only moving when we click. If we don't click, it doesn't move. It doesn't show, it doesn't draw. Okay, so after that, also this click will help us to make the rotation of the lane and to change the line length. So to do that, we need to add here a select. We will drag panel 1, and we only will select click, and we will rename here to rotate. Okay, so then after that we need to add a noise chop. This noise chop will need to be random and needs to be amplitude 0.5 and offset 0.5. So we will go from 0 to 1, and here we change on the channel page the channel name to line length, and finally on the common page we turn on time slice, so we only have one channel. And then to make the conversion of the length that we need from 0 to 1, we use a math. So this math on the range page, we will go from 0 to 1, that is this input, to 70, that is the minimum, to 200. And also again we can select here integer to round, and we have integer numbers. But this line length is no varying all the time. It's only varying when we make the click of the mouse. So we need to add here a hold. This will hold the last value, and on the second input we put this select one, this rotate. So this length will change now and will stay, will remain in that length until we click again the canvas. Okay, we can also connect this to this merge, and from here now we can, here on the line on point B, that is this point, we will export this parameter chop reference, and now you can see that the line is changing its length. Okay, but we need also to rotate it. So to make the rotation, we need an interaction with the keyboard, and we will start with all the keyboard interactions, and after that we will make the rotation at the end. Okay, so we're gonna add a keyboard in. This keyboard in, we will have the interaction with the keys 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first colors, then the key D for the mirror, and also we need to use backspace to delete the canvas to make it white again, and the space to change the random color. Okay, so first, to change the colors that we set it here, we will add a logic. This logic, we need to change the channel pre-op to radio button. We need a radio value, but here on the common we need to only select the keys that we want to make that radio button. But before that, I forgot that we need to add here a rename, so we can see easily what we are doing, and we will rename from key 1 to 4 the key D and the key backspace. We will rename it color from 1 to 4 to mirror, because the D will be the mirror, and reset, to reset the canvas. Okay, so now here on the scope, on the logic 1, we will select only the colors, color 1 to 4, and key space, that is the random color. So now if we click, we will change that, but we need to only have one value, that is the value that we will change this switch. And to make that, we need to add a fan operator. This will be a fan in, and we only have one output, and you can see that the output is color. So I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna change this to not mix all the wires. And now we can change or export this color to here, to the switch 1 index. And now you can see that if I change the color, the line change. Okay, so we're almost there. Also, here we will only use a select. This select will be the select for the reset, and we connect it directly to the merge. We change here the input order, and now we can go to this feedback and export this reset to the reset parameter e to the pulse parameter. So if I press the backspace, it will go, it will be clean again, and we can start drawing again. And a note for these interactions, especially with the space and the backspace keys, is that you need to be aware to do it inside the panel that you are interacting, because that keys have another behavior on the network, on the editing network. And so if you press the backspace and you are in the editing network, you will delete your last selected operator. So be aware of that, to do it inside here. If you do it inside here, nothing will happen in the editing network. Okay, so the next thing is that we also need, every time we press the random color, we need to have a different color. So to make that, we need also to select here the key space, and we will rename it to seed. So every time we hit the space, the key space, we will have a different seed. And to make that, we only need to connect here a count, and now our seed will be different. We connect it here. I'm gonna put this at the center and change the index. And now from here we can drag to the noise on the seed parameter this seed, and now you can see that our line will change. Okay, and yeah, that's it. We need also the last interaction here, that is the mirror. So here we only will use a logic out of the rename, and this logic will be act as a toggle button. So if we press the key that is the mirror, it will remain on that direction until we press again that key. Okay, so we will go to the scope and hit and select here mirror. So if I click mirror, it will remain until we click it again, and paste it here, change again the order, and finally we are there, but we need also the rotation, because we don't have that rotation. Okay, so okay, to make that rotation, we need to this select, we need to move it a little bit here, this here, and this here, to make some space. So this rotation will be in math. First, I explain you why in a few moments. Then this will be connected to a speed. The speed will act as the parameter that will give us a full rotation, a full 360 degrees rotation. So here we need to change the limit type to loop, and we will make this in 7 seconds. I calculated it, and it was about 7 seconds. So every 7 seconds we will have a new rotation of the line. And finally we connect a math, and as this can be variable for the velocity, we need to rearrange this 0 to 7 to 0 to 360. So here will be 360, and we can go to the speed, this maximum, 7, and drag it here to the mat on the from range from 0 to reference 7 will be for from 0 to 360. And then that's it for all of this. And we connect this rotate to the merge. We change this mat, so if we make this, they will be connected in sequence. And now here on the transform, we will use this rotate to rotate our line in the z-axis. Chop reference, and now I'm gonna clean the space, and you can see that we are drawing again. So we're almost there. I'm gonna show you how to avoid these lines in the final steps, but we are there. We can change our colors, and we can also make these trails with the feedback. But if we make the mirror, it is not mirroring. Okay, so one of the first things that we need to do with mirror is that we need to change the direction of the direction of the rotation of the line. So to make that, we need to add this to select this parameter and use it here on the mat. So I'm gonna drag it here to multiply, and we're gonna change this Python line, because we need that if we are in the mirror, we will multiply our value to -1, and then this speed will be in negative direction. So the script is -1 if up logic mirror. So it's evaluating this as a bool, as a true or false. So it's true, that means that if it's 1, this value will be -1. But if it's 0, we put else, then will be 1. So now we go negative, and if we press it, it's also negative. But we also need to make the mirroring. So how we can make this mirroring? Well, we need to go to this transform, and in this transform we need to mirror the rotation on the x-axis and the y-axis, and this will mirror as a mirror is made by 180 degrees. We need to use the value of the mirror that is here on the params and multiply it by that 180. So I'm gonna drag this to this rotate, and again, and for the x-axis we need to be multiplied by -180, and this will be multiplied by 180. Okay, so now if we make the mirror, you can see that we have the line mirroring. And I think that's it for this tutorial. As I told you, it's a simple network, but this needs a lot of explanation and a lot of mathematics to achieve the interactions that we want. So I told you that before we end the tutorial, how to avoid these lines. Well, I saw that when the load of the CPU is so heavy that you have, I don't know, another program running or else, this is not I'm gonna make this big. This is not drawing that specific frame because we are in real time. But for this kind of interaction, we don't really need to have it real time. And we can, and if we turn off this real time flag, we will be sure that the full circle will be drawn without that jumps. Okay, so turn it off, start again, and now you can see that the full circle is doing. And now you can start playing with this. You can make the interaction with another input that is the same as the mouse, like another sensors. And yeah, that's interaction. So I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you learn again something and how to optimize and use use the less amount of operators to make an interaction like this, an interaction that you can see like from visual, how to transform it to operators in Touchdesigner and make um, the same interactions that are shown. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I'm gonna put so much effort to give you more tutorials to have this generative design book finalized, and also had been difficult times because my times were not the times I wanted to have, but I will put effort to deliver you more tutorials. And I want to thank also all the patrons that are supporting me, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. So goodbye.